All right, just start it. I don't even think we have a button.
That's right, live here at Free Admissions. Dondo, Joey the Bull. This is the Gym Crashers. How you doing, sir?
Doing wonderful, thank you, sir. How about you? That's more important.
Oh, I'm doing great. Looking sexy, losing weight. I can finally see things down there that I haven't seen for a very long time. Haven't lost my sense of humor yet.
I can see that.
Still a happy, jolly man.
Mm-hmm.
But how you been, bro?
We've been good. We've been busy. We
Busy.
got a tournament coming up May 7th. May 7th for us, May 8th for Submissions on the Shore.
That's crazy because during my recovery, I've been watching the show.
Mm-hmm. There hasn't been many, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching the show, couple of shows you guys had on, and then, of course, watching all the updates of what's happening with all the different venues that's going on with subs, and then, of course, very own Gym Crashers, I believe in San Pedro. It's going to be amazing, dude. It's going to be a whole brand new year after this whole COVID situation is kind of dying off. Everything's going back to Orange, I think in Orange County tomorrow, LA next week. So things are going to get for the better, for everybody.
We certainly hope so. I cannot predict. There may be a hurricane around the corner.
You know what? Hey.
I hate to say that, but we just don't know.
Yeah, and then that's why I tell people sometimes, it's like, you still got to be safe out there.
Yeah.
Don't get too comfortable because what's going to happen is things are going to start shutting down again because everybody's like, oh, we're going to be close again. We're going to be, talking and coughing and all that crazy stuff. So hopefully everybody's still responsible and doing their thing and, keeping themselves safe out there.
Universal Studios opens this month, I think on the 15th of April. Let's see. Magic Mountain's already open, like tomorrow. First day.
And Disneyland's still on the edge right now.
They're not going to open for a while, but Knott's may open on May 1st. Disneyland's going to be the last one because they're the biggest.
But imagine how Disney would be with just during the times of having less people there. It's going to be crazy.
I thought Disneyland is open.
No, I'm sorry. Time out. It is. No. My sister-in-law just went the
Last taste of Disney. No rides, no nothing else.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, but they're open.
Yeah, but they're open.
Knott's has been open too, but it's not considered open. It's considered just for restaurants. But nice try.
Yeah.
They will not officially open until probably closer to June.
Oh, wow.
Memorial Day
There's
weekend.
like an expansion going on too, right? They're expanding. People are upset because it's shitty.
It's interesting. They're always pushing that, yes. But I read about that.
Because I saw, remember Lynn?
Yeah.
My friend,
Yeah.
She was posting that they bought tickets to Disneyland or Disneyland.
To the taste of Disney.
What is that?
There's no rides. It's just you go eat the food.
But you can go in there.
You get to walk around,
How
yeah.
much do they charge you for the tickets?
$50.
No rides, you can pay $50.
We're having a one-way conversation. You don't have a microphone.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Just wanted you to be aware of that.
That's
It's an interesting thing. We've done this show for a long time now, and we're still doing one-way conversations.
I was late to the reaction.
Yeah, it's interesting, but
No, what we're bringing up as soon as because Mr. Adam had run a little late, so we were just bringing up how that now Orange County
Is orange.
is going to Orange tomorrow, and of course LA's next week. LA was supposed to be the same time as Orange County, but they're kind of worried, like, let's wait until the weekend's over, so we'll start doing it next week. So I was mentioning how all these cool events that are happening, that either from subs and of course Gym Crash's very own event that's happening, that people are still maintaining their safety, so we could have more events in the future with more of a crowd, more of an audience. Because if people are not safe, and what's going to happen? We're going to go back to the orange, the purple, the red, whatever color's left in the freaking rainbow when we can't see each other anymore. So
I personally don't believe that people are in control of that.
well, I'm just
That's all.
no matter what we do, they're going to do. Yeah, I'm with you, Sean.
All bullshit.
If you
Yeah.
heard the words of our audience member, they're going to do what they're going to do.
That makes sense though, because like my boss literally just came to me today, right before unfortunately I had to leave for a new job. That schools are actually opening back up. So he was like telling me about opening hours, and I was like wondering. I'm like, I thought they were opening back up, but they're finally like fully kind of back to normal, not this kind of hybrid they've been through these past semesters.
They hinted at a hybrid, but they let them all back, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
with
Pretty
stupid
much.
rules.
It's
bro.
like
Yeah.
yeah, they're not there for that long, but now it's like they're gonna be back to normal time.
If it would have happened when I was a kid, I'd have been at the beach every day.
I was doing.
I would have loved it. I would have loved it.
Just hanging out at the beach. or just
I ditched anyway, so it would have been given a perfect opportunity. I never would have stayed home. I don't know who keeps their kids at home, but
like, what would you do during COVID? I think I'd just be messing around, like in the garage and wrestling and fighting and
since we did absolutely everything we normally do, I'm going to say I would do absolutely everything I normally do. We didn't stop. We didn't.
No.
We didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a show.
No.
So, yeah, life goes on.
We're still trucking. We're still moving. We're trying to make things big and positive in this world, in this life today, that we're trying to make everything great with this podcast show, with Jim Crasher's branding the name out there so we can make it big like everybody else. I mean, it's a slow train. We're slowly climbing. We're about to hit that peak one day where people are going to recognize our name worldwide. And we're going to make that happen for real this year. Because it's a brand new day, a brand new thing, brand new Donda, brand new everybody. We got to make it positive, not negative, and let's make it happen. That's my belief.
I like it, Joey.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
Sometimes we got to pull our heads out of our asses. You know, we're all not perfect. We all have our issues. We all have our dilemmas. We have, crazy shit that goes on in our lives. We get it. We all go through our struggle. But you know what? As a team, as a family, we're always there for each other, and we got to fight for each other to make things happen. That's why my belief is to make this company a big company by this summer, so people recognize our name out there worldwide.
or maybe it's Survivor, and some of us just leave the island.
You know,
Who knows? We'll see where reality takes us.
it's got to be positive, brother.
Yeah, positivity is not something we lack,
You
but
know.
direction is important as well.
Very important.
You know.
So, how was your day, man? Just
I
going
had a
crazy?
lovely day, yeah.
Yeah, lovely day. Yeah,
It's
really?
Tuesday. I absolutely love Taco Tuesday.
That's
Went to
what I'm
Vallarta, did up some tacos, did the Avondiga soup. You know,
Going back to kind of the more topical and combat sports and kind of entertainment world, did you guys see the Jake Paul and like Ben Askren press conference at all, or any highlights?
I did not. You
No.
can tell us about that now if you'd like.
Well, I'd like to inform you. Obviously, celebrity boxing is now pretty much a thing again.
It's exhibitionist, but it is. It makes money. It brings eyes to the sport, and we all watch,
Yeah, and
right?
what's fascinating is the fact that almost like the fact that the celebrity by definition is just so much more vast than what it used to be. I'm sure when you were growing up, it used to be
Something's
the
wrong with
movie
Mike.
stars like.
Something Wong.
Unplug the mic.
So we're gonna set up Adam, our bloody breakdown, with a new microphone because he has words for us about Ben Askren.
Put a number 4.
If you couldn't hear him now, you're going to hear him now.
Well, he's got info that none of us have because he breaks things down in such a way that even I don't fully understand. But yes, talking the celebrity game,
And that's why, I like Adam, because Adam breaks it down. There's just stuff that, like we're either not really focusing on too much. We watch the fights. Like me, I'm a guy that like watching the fights. I like people knocking each other out, but I don't go in detail. And that's the reason why we have Adam here, because he goes in detail. He's like the dictionary. He knows everything about what's going on in the fight world, from interviews to people talking shit to what's going to happen next. Or did you hear that? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, he knows the gossip. And that's what makes things interesting about Adam, is just the fact that if people just watch the fights, but Adam has the detail of talking about everybody's bullshit in the background.
that's right. Here we go. I think we're live, Robert. We just conducted the tap test.
All right, I think going back to what I was saying, but
Ben
like I
Askren.
said, celebrity like boxing essentially is back in just a much different form. Back in the day, your atypical celebrities, you were either in movies, you were either in TV shows, or you were a musician. Nowadays, with social media and all these different entertainment platforms, you can be a celebrity amongst just many different forms and talents, and just there's so many different ways you can go with your said talent and skills. Even nowadays, even beyond just the Jake Pauls and the Ben Askren, we're seeing these kind of lesser known kind of social media stars put on these like boxing cards. Basically, I believe there's one for basically now YouTubers and TikTokers, where it's like battle of the platforms, essentially, where they have all these influencers that are just having these celebrity boxing matches now.
And I get what you're saying, because honestly, that's where all the young generation is going. TikTok and Instagram. A lot of TikTok and Instagram and YouTubers, a lot of these younger audience that's their big influence. So they see that like Jake, or they see somebody that name whatever, so-and-so on YouTube, and they follow them. They're like, dude, he's about to fight Jake. He's about to fight somebody crazy, and that's what brings all these younger audience involved in MMA, because it's like sometimes young kids don't really know that. A lot of these gamers, a lot of people, a lot of these YouTubers don't know the fight game of MMA, and once they recognize that, people that they follow, like you said, on TikTok or YouTube, they're just like hooked now, and it's making the fight game a lot more popular with the younger generation.
Yeah, but it's also definitely interesting because you could see with specifically the Jake Paul and Ben Askren press conference, how a social media star promotes something and just kind of in these kind of shit talks and will promote something versus combat sports now. What was interesting, Ben Askren, we obviously know, he's known for being kind of a shit talker, a guy who can sell a fight, go back and forth. What was fascinating to me about watching that press conference was you could kind of see Jake kind of lose his cool almost, where he was trying really hard to get under your skin to childish tactics, you know, like the constant joke of like he tried that stuff of seeing like you flubbed on your words, so I'm gonna make fun of that. And I'm like, I haven't heard somebody make fun of somebody since elementary school with like insults he was saying, and Ben was not having it at all. You know, Ben Askren being an Olympic athlete and fought in some of the toughest
He doesn't have to say
promotion
anything.
of the world. He doesn't have to say anything. Everybody, his credentials speak for themselves. But you could see with Jake where he was trying to be the guy that like everybody's doubting that he is. Basically, if I'm the tough guy, you know, I'm the face of boxing. You know, trying to sell it as this is boxing versus MMA, that old storyline, you know, of what's the better sport, boxing versus MMA, and who's the better athletes and who's tougher, this old storyline, even though nowadays most MMA fighters box with boxers and spar, and there's a lot of just commingling of the two worlds. But, you know, that's an old storyline that people love to sell. And so you could really see Jake go with that angle and try to be that bad guy, that kind of heel of like, I'm the or the Jorge Masvidal in this situation, and I'm going to sleep you. And, you know, Ben Askren just sitting there, just, you know, as himself, very witty, very smart. And honestly, I think got the better of him without even having to say as many jokes. He had one or two, but he was majority didn't say much and had the better of the interaction.
And I believe what you're saying, and I think, you know, because like I said, I'm a big fan of like your WWE, AEW wrestling. That would work big time on that type of segment, you know, for wrestling. But what he's trying to do, like I said, he made himself look like a dumbass. The way he was talking, and he was bullying the guy, and I like the homeboy was just like, dude, like, you done talking? Because I'm just gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
He made himself look like a fool. There was a lot of memes out there, and he just looked like an idiot.
Also, too, when someone like puts their hand on your face, why is your instant reaction to slap their belly? Like, that's what threw me off. That's why, like, you know, before this press conference, I was confident that Jake Paul was probably going to sleep Ben Askren just by the fact that Ben Askren's older, he's not as quick, he was never known for his striking, not the best boxing, not the best hands. But just seeing how much Jake was just putting that mental pressure on himself, like really getting in on his own head, that's not a sign of confidence for me. That's a sign that you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You could get in there and you may tense up, or, you know, like we've seen it time and time again for guys who try and go in for the kill. You know, you go in for those first 2 rounds and now you have no gas to go the rest. It's 8 rounds. This is boxing. It's a marathon pace. It's not a sprint. And so, like, when somebody is like, you've been talking crap the whole time and they finally just push back, and like I said, your reaction is just one of that's just, you lose your cool. Basically, you're the one that lost that. Like I said, you lost your cool. You know, that's not a good sign to me.
Yeah. And he right now he's a circus act. A lot of people are saying, well, he's the face of boxing. Yeah, because he's opening his mouth. He's making himself known. He's trying to be like the McConnor McGregor of boxing, but he's looking like a fool. At least McConnor McGregor had a record, and he's proved his point. Where Jake, he's just he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'd say the face of boxing right now is probably Canelo Alvarez,
Yeah.
not
That's
Jake
fact.
Paul.
That is a big fact.
But
Just because he's not out there, you know, talking all this shit, and, you know, whatever.
Hey, man,
It's
you know.
to each his own, I guess, you know.
go watch his fights. You don't need to talk. Go watch any of Canelo's fights. That man doesn't need to say nothing.
No,
Like, only just hit you with a shoulder roll and just the left hook, and you're done.
And done deal.
Done deal.
Going Mimi's for the night.
in the night.
They're selling tickets though.
They are.
Hey,
That's what it's about.
that's what I get. Yeah, that's the only thing he's doing is selling tickets, which is great.
Butts and seats.
All of them are. Like I said, even that lower level one, I believe that YouTubers versus TikTokers, I believe that one's trending even well.
So what are your beliefs in all these YouTube fighters and people coming up on TikTok? You think that
I think it's important. I think that because we exist in a time period which information is disseminated in such a way that if you're not on that program, then you're not connected to what's going on today. So the fact that it is getting done this way, and it's getting done in a high level, people should pay attention. Regardless of whether he can talk shit or not, Jake Paul has brought an audience to boxing. It could be argued that MMA had overshadowed that for quite some time, that we weren't seeing any stars. You know, we had a few things going on, but not as consistent. So with regards to the attention it brings, it's wonderful. Whatever you can do.
But for you being serious about your jiu-jitsu art,
I do all three.
and
we mix it up.
well, and everything you do in your
Yando
life.
also does
Do you-
Muay
do
Thai.
you-
Like
do you-
11 years of Muay Thai.
Do you feel that some of these people that are coming from YouTube or TikTok, you think that because of the way they're presenting themselves, they're disrespecting the sport because who they are?
I'm not so concerned with how people represent the sport.
Okay.
I would be more inclined to say something if they were representing martial arts.
Okay.
But as a sport, I mean, the nature of sport is to have competition.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you have to raise the level of eyes that are on you, and they're going to create a buzz.
And I'm responding back to one of our viewers' comments here, but Jake is winning, but Jake hasn't fought anybody that's been a big name fighter. I mean, he hasn't fought
Yeah.
anybody. I mean, people are like, oh, Jake this, Jake that, but dude, he hasn't fought anybody.
That's the thing.
I mean, he's fighting these soup cans, like these. I don't know who, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, don't praise this guy.
I would like to agree with that, except that who is Jake Paul anyway? So he's fighting people at his own level.
Yeah.
So by no means is he a champion stepping down. This is a guy who's earning his way. So I don't know what you're referring to. I'm confused.
Well, people are saying, well, he's winning. You can't, like
He's
basically
winning.
the comments are leaving. Yeah, but who is he fighting? He's fighting
People
nobody.
at his own, but he's a YouTuber, not he's developing who he
Okay.
is as a boxer. So you're comparing apples and oranges. You got to compare apples and apples.
That's
so you
true.
take a guy that is developing as a boxer, fighting other developing boxers to make a name for himself, and he's winning. He's not a long-term boxing champion that is now fighting cans. He himself has not proven himself. Only recently is able to do so by winning. Am I wrong? I mean,
I feel that the guys that he is fighting right now are guys that I could pull off the street and be like, okay, dude, you're fighting Jake next week. You're fighting Jake. Those are the people he's fighting right now.
I don't think they take him off the street, but if you say so.
I mean, I see what you're saying with the Nate Robinson and then also the other YouTuber he fought
Yeah.
before. I will say though, like, for what he's shown
Mm-hmm.
in, like, again, fighting somebody on that same level, that he's competent enough in his skills to actually call out somebody with combat sport experience.
If you're going to call out Ben
here's
Askren,
what's-
that tells me that you have
here's what's
confidence.
interesting about this is that it's not necessarily like I said, it's that Ben's such an amazing like striker and all that, but it's the fact that he's fighting somebody with the proven heart and grit in these said combat sports,
Yeah.
in these types of arenas.
It's a rough thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy he put to sleep was an NBA basketball player.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, okay. I mean, difference between NBA and boxing, bro. Come on.
Yeah, and you could kind of tell too when Nate Robinson got hit. It was like like that first day of sparring. when you you just don't know what to do, just lost in the lights.
I feel like a lot of it is transferable, and especially basketball. A lot of footwork. I mean, you, if you put the gloves on, tell us what you say. You have a deep breath, but
No, I hear you.
how can you not see the comparison?
I mean, okay, you have what's his name? What's his name that played football? That had his own.
Greg Hardy.
There you go, and he was a great fighter. I mean, yeah, but I mean NBA. I mean, I don't know. I think it's different style, different fight style. I just
Well,
don't.
to start with, NBA is not a fight style.
No, I'm talking about like NBA players. I don't see them as fighters because they're just. I don't think they have the structure
What's
for
odd
it.
about it is actually
You don't think they have the structure
To be
for
a-
fighting?
I
No.
think if you take, I think most NBA players actually would translate probably the most well to MMA.
Yeah, MMA because there's long and
But
lanky. They have the
athletes
long
and
legs.
On top of it too, the flexibility
Yes,
to be able
exactly.
to do jiu-jitsu and strike.
Not a boxer.
Arguably, when you look at one of the better strikers, I won't say the greatest striker of all time, John Jones does some creative, strange things, regardless of how you feel about his record or what he's done outside of the cage, and has that long, lanky type of body. So to be able to be creative and to strike and to keep distance, I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying Wilt Chamberlain's going to be a great boxer, but most people aren't as tall as that.
But wasn't when Chamberlain in the
Also-
Chuck Norris movie or Bruce Lee movie?
It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
But also, what's interesting about John is technically he's made his own style.
Yeah.
It's called look-see-do.
I get it.
So
I mean,
every time
he throws
like, he's been
elbows where
announced,
people are fully extending arms. That's
Yeah.
how unique he is. So
it's great now. There's like every tall, lanky fighter, like ever since they heard him say that, now it's been like they all put that down as look-see-do.
I would argue and say that athletes are more inclined to do well in MMA than the average person.
Yeah.
Not only
Yes.
that, that's a basketball player is an athlete.
Yeah, of course.
Their stamina's already there. I mean, they're already cross training to keep up their games, during the regular season.
Okay.
So they're already doing a lot of this stuff. They're using striking. They're doing, maybe it's cardio boxing, but they're doing other things. We see it all the time. So stepping into combat sports isn't that far of a stretch. Not right now because, okay, even the world of CrossFit, a lot of those things that they do is part of fight camp. Commonly. I mean, the fight
Easily,
camps that
yeah.
I've seen, I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but 99% of what they do in CrossFit I've seen during fight
seen-
camp. No,
yeah.
over and over and over. So I don't know how that doesn't translate, especially basketball players, because we've got one sitting in this room that has, his footwork is to be commended. He understands things and positions and really putting himself where his striking is most advantageous, and very quickly stepping into a position where when you're striking and you're countering, that you'll miss.
Yeah.
You can't do damage to the guy because he's adept, and that I believe it came from his basketball.
And I know we talk about
I
basketball.
want to hear what he has to say about it.
This is something totally different.
Okay.
This might be breaking news. So, did you guys hear about Craig Jones doing intergender fight with Gabby Garcia?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, I read that.
Do you remember the first intergender jiu-jitsu match?
Was it Fallon Fox?
No, Thor. Remember Metathorus? Instead of Metamoris, he called him Metathorus. And you remember who it was? It was Bree Sticks versus a 300-pound football player. She just posted about that, so I tagged her. I'm down, Bree. You want to do this at Gym Crashers Pro 2? We'll do an intergender match. I'm down.
This is coming
Oh, wow.
from our
So,
Robert coming out of
production.
so
man.
no, not against me, of course. No. I would set it up.
Robert said I was down.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I mean,
There's
somebody
magic
wants
in
to
those
do an
feet.
intergender match on May 7th.
is it legal?
I'm down.
Is it legal to do as long as it's
They
not a
said it.
sanctioned event?
It's not a section event. Does it really matter?
I'm just asking,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's,
I really don't know.
It's not illegal for two women and a man and a woman to go train jujitsu right now. Why would that be?
So you can wrestle an alligator. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
up to
sure.
you.
I
Yeah,
think we
I'm
should
pretty
bring
sure.
one.
Yeah, like that's
I think we should
wrestle
try
it.
that. We should try that. The Crocodile Hunter. Crocodile Hunter does it. We could do that, right? In a pool.
But who would go against her?
I don't know. We'll find it. I'll keep in touch with Bree. Let's do
PC
that.
Pro.
Let's do it intergender then.
Like,
We're very
versus a
open, and Long
crocodile.
Beach is down the street. We'll find someone.
damn, that's crazy.
I like your thinking. Robert's very open.
And there's a lot of tough women
love
out
this
there.
idea.
That's one thing, man.
You're a
There's lot of-
groundbreaker. I like that. But no, I
in the Shore versus Gym Crashers Pro 2.
like it.
Damn.
do it.
Let's do it.
Albert Tapia. That's what we should do. We should ask Subs on the Shore to give us.
Tap
No,
out
I mean,
Tapia.
let's get. I mean, Bree's part of Subs on the
I
Shore.
would like to do that. Just put up Tap Out Tapia.
Albert Tapia
Savage
versus
animal.
Bree JJ.
Wow.
Oh, let's do
The
that.
main event.
He competes often.
I love it.
He's going
But-
to say, Don, don't be quiet.
But back to that basketball.
Let's finish this subject.
Okay.
I see it as a perfect fit. You don't see it as a...
No,
thing that
I
works at all.
see it. I see it because the fact that when I used to play basketball at Miles Square Park and all that stuff, it actually helped out a lot with my footwork with boxing. I get it, but it's because I was trained to be a boxer. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I mean, to be fair, like one thing, and this is kind of an interesting jumping off point into like another topic here, but similar, is I really think it's underrated. I feel like how MMA and just combat sports training in general helps you athletically with other sports.
Yes.
I can
That's
tell
why
you
they
as
cross-train.
I can tell you as a person who in their free time I train MMA, boxing, all that. But competition wise, I like to compete, in golf. I'm a golfer, For me, I've gotten the most
That
distance
uppercut.
out of yeah. When I returned back to playing golf, I had all my same distances without picking up a club in 3 years. And not only that, I had more distance than when I did trying to lift weights, being a powerlifter in high school, being a dumb 16-year-old thinking
Sure.
I could be strong and just being like, let me lift, and then eating like crap after, not making any gains, versus now having actual knowledge as an adult of how to be healthy. And, and I noticed just how much my distances and game changed. So I really do think it's underrated how much I think other sports could translate into MMA and how MMA could translate into other sports. Just
I
because,
see it. The best
so many of those movements are so similar.
the best thing I could tell you is Robert and I actually went down and trained with Adam and Russ down in your place, and at that time, this is something that you didn't see, especially here. We didn't have that going on, but they would go mountain bike on the weekend. They would go surf on the weekend. They would go hike on the weekend, and that enhanced their game, their brotherhood, the fight game, everything. But they were doing those other things to cross train. It was more like active recovery versus lay on your ass and recover.
Yeah.
I respect that. And that's what I see as an important aspect to athletes that are taking on fights.
No, definitely.
Versus the guy off the street who just ate a burger. Of course he's not going to do well.
And you know what? And that's one thing I can't wait for. Like, doctor has given me the okay in 2.5 weeks to actually hit the bag, jump rope, and do a lot of movement. But not for another month to actually can do anything with combat, where I get hit, roll around, not put too much strain in my abdomen, all that stuff, my stomach.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a.
Are we going to set up a boxing match for you? Is that what we're saying?
No. I'm just saying. I mean, like right now, I've been cutting so much weight ever since my surgery because, like I said, it's been already a month that I've been out of surgery and been finally done with liquid diets for the past 3 weeks. That was crazy. I mean, I had to drink everything from like a little ounces of apple juices to cranberry juices to water to even these protein drinks for a whole month, and then I had a broth, either the soupy broth or the creamy broth. I had to strain that out, and so did that for about 3 weeks. Went great. Go out for walks. I lost probably a good amount of weight because before my surgery, I was at 425, 430, and then now I weighed myself. I think it was last week. I'm down to 375, 380. Wow. So right now I'm still got a ways to go, and I feel a lot more energy, man. I've been walking, not huffing and puffing, even climbing up these stairs today. Normally I'm always, breathing like crazy, like I wasn't a wrestling match, but I walked up with no issues. And now starting this week, I've been doing pureed food. That means blended stuff like from tuna to turkey meat to even buying these little pouches that you buy at Walmart or Costco for these baby food type of things.
MREs.
Nice.
And it's been crazy. And then I asked my doctor the other day, like, dude, like, when can I start hitting the bag? When can I start jumping rope? Because I love walking. I mean, that's one thing I do at work. I even walk around Corona like farther than I ever walked before. And but I want to start hitting the bag, and he says that not until like maybe 2.5, maybe 3 weeks you start doing that.
Be patient.
Yeah, because I wanna really get in there and start boom boom boom, get myself back into my shape again. Back when I used to look like a hot stud.
Nice.
I mean, I
Joey.
am a hot stud now. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jake Austin Kathy, he wants to box you, Joey, for a celebrity match.
I agree. I'll take that fight. I don't even know who it is.
I was about to say, I don't know who that is.
Oh, Jake from the Bully Boys, the Bullet Boys. Bully Breakdown.
Bully Zone.
Bully Bull Zone.
You know what, Jake? Let me tell you
Yes,
something.
Jake, my homie. Don't you call yourself something different when you're in the freaking show? Austin, that's what it is. I know he is Austin. He calls you Jake.
Jake, you don't even last, brother. Let me tell you right now. I already know your skill. I know what you do on the side. Your cardio is weak, brother. Your breathing technique is weak. You don't want to. What do you say?
Somebody throwing a beat. Joey's in the flow.
I'll put money on Mr.
You said you
Austin.
want me a juice? What? You said juice a burrito? I'll give you a burrito, bro.
Pizza syrup.
Dude, this guy talking a lot of shit. Like, Jake, once I get down to my weight, I get to your level, you little twig. I'm telling you right now, this is for real. This is real talk. He really wants some of this. We can make this happen.
At least, I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, at least Jake has. I've seen him take bumps and hits, so he's probably willing to do it. I'll
Yep.
give that to Jake.
I know he is.
Jake's willing.
He wouldn't have said it otherwise.
Yeah, Jake's willing. So
Hey, we'll make it happen.
I know.
Be
it'd
careful
great.
because we have accepted things we've never followed through with.
But that's
we'll
not
talk
on
about
Joey's
this in the
part.
future.
That's not my part.
That's not his
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
It's not on his part. The other person was in, out, half. I don't know.
I mean, there was money that was gonna be thrown, and there was money.
Well, we could do an unsanctioned boxing event at Jim Crash's Pro.
Oh, we can make this happen. Once I get clear from the docs and everything else, it's gonna be ugly, bro. I mean, Jake,
That
I
would
love
be
you.
cool.
I love you.
Before we started.
I love
That'd be
you.
hilarious.
But
It'd be worth it.
I mean, I don't want this kid waking up in the hospital. I don't want him losing teeth.
You can't wish all that.
I mean, it's
Gotta
gonna
do your
happen.
job. Isn't that what your job is? If
I mean-
you step in the ring, that's your job.
Yeah, but you know, I'm gonna have to pick him up and give him a hug.
Nobody
like,
said
are you
that.
okay?
You don't always got to
You
do
don't
those
gotta.
things.
I'm a nice guy. You know,
I guess so.
I'm a nice guy.
I would say so. Joey's a very nice guy.
But it seems like, yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
If he wants to step in the ring with him, he knows the job.
Did we talk about Stipe yet?
Let's talk about Stipe. Well, I don't know if it's
about
premature
Stipe?
because that's his segment.
No, this is a review.
Oh, just about the
I can tell you that I expected it. I
yeah.
did personally. Ngannou's been evolving and changing, and he stepped in there. Come on, I wanted to run for my life. I felt like Godzilla versus King Kong.
Dude, that match.
Think about too, like on top of it, how much better his wrestling got. Think about like the fact that he was stuffing his takedowns,
Stipe
and
was
he was just
overwhelmed,
like
bro.
how strong he was stuffing those
Outclassed.
takedowns, like against
feel
a
like he
college, like a college level wrestler, D1. Like
What do you think?
it's incredible.
Let's hear the Panda Vision coming at you.
I don't know about class, but out strategized in the weight. He
The
tried
weight
it-
was a factor.
he decided to come in at what 230. What are you doing, bro? Like, I get it. You want to use your speed and you want to be more mobile, and you did great against Cormier, but Cormier is a little bit.
It's a different animal.
Yeah, he's not a big. I mean, he's heavy, but he's not that. I mean, he makes 205.
He
So I
carries
think
it in
was
a different way, too,
Yeah,
than
I think it
Ngannou.
was wrong to probably. I mean, who am I to say that? But I think it would have been better if he could lean on that big muscle mass, and try to tire him on and have him push a little bit more. Have him. I mean, George St. Pierre and method, right? Lactic acid buildup, get those muscles fucking tired.
You
and
speak the truth. It's been
Try
done.
it.
It
Yeah,
has
try
been
it.
done.
Try
That is
it.
not a formula that has not worked in the past. That has worked.
I mean, they say that muscles need oxygen.
yeah.
Those big muscles need oxygen. You got a 5-round fight.
John Jones.
He's lean mass, though.
Yeah, he's lean.
Lean mass, but it's still the mass is still leaner than it's.
Ngannou's a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but who knows? I mean, that's a lot of muscles that he. What did Ngannou weigh in at? 256, 258,
Of solid
260?
mass.
And how tall is he?
6'4". John Jones is.
Yeah.
John Jones is a little might be taller than him, right? Or right around there.
Is that the fight we want to see? Ngannou?
Ngannou versus Jones is definitely next.
Oh, man.
It's like, but there's some discrepancy with Jones right now by the fact that he just kind of came out right after the fight with that whole social media post of like, show me the money, the whole like from Jerry or what is it,
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like just pay the man because he's being literally paid a margin of what he's actually worth. But
It's-
it's
it's
tough
sad.
with like by the fact that he hasn't had the most exciting performances lately. But I really think that's also due to the fact that John just hasn't been excited in his career in a long time, and it's just been a while since he's presented with
A challenge.
a challenge like this. This is David and Goliath. This is the big scary monster in Francis Ngannou, the guy who just flatlines Stipe Miocic, the former greatest heavyweight champion of all time.
He had more wins than anybody I've seen, right?
In
On
the
record?
heavyweight, in the heavyweight division, and then on top of it too, Stipe didn't even realize he held like all these different records. He just was smashing all these and got demolished by a guy with just more
It
pure
was
raw
ugly.
talent.
It was ugly.
Yeah, it was
And then what was
definitely
even more beautiful really about that knockout that I love to see, that just really kind of brightened my heart and just is especially inspiring as a guy who's gotten to watch Ngannou since he's gotten in the UFC and who's followed his career and knows his backstory, having listened to the interviews, hearing his story, coming from Cameroon, having to immigrate and travel through the desert, risk his life many times and help other people trying to immigrate to get to France. To see him go through all of that off of just going from 2013 being homeless, having nothing.
Did we listen to this podcast together about Ngannou? Or is
I
that
don't
me and
know.
Robert? So I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody would take the time to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with Francis Ngannou, it's
It's
a
incredible.
heart-wrenching story of a true champion.
If you're not inspired by the end of listening
Yeah.
to that episode,
In
there's
a very
nothing I could
short
give
time
you.
period, it didn't take him long to accomplish his
It's-
goals
and-
to establish himself as a competitor in the
Yeah.
sport and now a champion.
And
I
the
want-
crazy part is how long it took him and how many times he tried to get to France.
Yeah, he had a
What was it,
harder
9
time
months or
getting
6
out of
months or
Africa
something?
than he did. Harder time getting out of Africa than he did getting in the UFC.
Yeah.
It seems like
Yeah.
truly.
I don't. I mean, either way, John Jones or Derek Lewis, interesting fights. They're good fights.
Yeah.
I think I can see that there's a chance for both guys to have a win. I think the fight that's going to be the hardest in that trio might be Derek Lewis versus John Jones. Might be the hardest fight for each other. I mean, for Derek Lewis, I think that's the most lopsided I could see. I think him versus Ngannou, we already know, like, and so it's possible. So I mean,
That's the thing about you. Kind of have to put a big asterisk on that Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis fight, by the fact they were both injured majorly in that
Yeah.
fight, and on top of it too, he was in his own mind. You know, he just came off of getting fast tracked in that title shot. Like we said, you could hear from that same podcast, he really didn't have the same training he does now. Really didn't. You know, he just didn't have the same team, the same resources. You know, and. So I think on top of it too, Derek Lewis, I believe, was still having his back issues, still was having a lot of medical issues. But after now, you see him; he's made this complete career resurgence, and we're seeing Derek Lewis just more athletic than ever, with incredible just uppercut knockouts,
Hot balls.
throwing flying knees, hot balls, like
Brought his hot balls.
you know. And so I think, but I do think that fight is a lot more competitive fight in this rematch. But I think Ngannou takes it. I still think like he's just a
Is
step
Ngannou
faster.
still evolving, or is it just me? Obviously,
I
he
think
jumps
so.
leaps and bounds, and now he has more resources to do so.
On top of it,
so
too.
it'll be a different fighter when we see him next.
Especially
needs to
after
be.
seeing how like you could tell, you know, he's the type of person that all the people he inspired, that's motivation for him. You could
He
see
inspired
when
an entire continent.
Yeah.
it was incredible to see
went
all those
crazy.
videos, his hometown, them all losing their minds, seeing him win that title. They're all going crazy. On top of it too, just for the fact that they're all rooting for him that he got out of there. And so now that he is a champion, now that he has like more to go, and that he's even saying he wants even bigger heights. I believe even recently on the Flagrant 2 podcast, I have yet to listen to it, but where he was just interviewed on there, he was calling out Tyson Fury again, calling for that boxing match, saying I'm going to box Tyson Fury next once I'm done with MMA.
That's cool.
Wow.
And which is something
Tyson
I
Fury
can't
fought
wait to
Andy
happen.
Ruiz. Yes.
Fury? No.
I thought he did.
Deontay Wilder.
That's right. That's right.
And now he's fighting Anthony Joshua, but I believe that's a
Anthony
2 or 3
Joshua
fight
fought
deal.
Ruiz. That's
And
right.
that's probably going to be the biggest boxing match in UK
Yeah.
heavyweight history.
Yeah.
I
can't wait to
believe
see
so.
that.
That's
something we should all
incredible
get
boxing
together
match.
for. Chicken wings and pizza.
Oh,
We can
it's
blend
great.
it up for Joey.
Yeah, just one bite of chicken wing and I'm full.
Full.
It is so true. I get full so quick, man.
Robert too. Robert hasn't been eating very much.
not the last 4 days. I've been eating like a maniac.
Really?
I've been.
Tell us about your intake.
Huh?
Tell us about your recent intake. You've
I've
been
been
getting
eating-
down? It's
I've
a
been-
weekend, so what'd you eat? Something fun?
No, I just been eating more. Instead of eating 2 meals a day, I've been eating 3 meals and snacks.
I went to Fatima's yesterday for lunch. Okay,
Fucker.
I tried to go with you 1,000 times. You can only turn a
this
brother
guy.
down so much, and you got to go on your own. So let me tell you, they take a green tortilla, the spinach tortilla. They take shawarma. They take chicken. They take lamb, and then they put the pink turnips. You have basically a Mediterranean burrito, and then yogurt. What do you call it? Tzatziki, right? Oh my God! And the vegetables that are in there, it's a healthy burrito. But then they have another one with carne asada, al pastor, hot Cheetos, nacho cheese. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do the healthy one because I don't want to die. But that other one looked great.
Today I went to a place called Beach City Sandwiches.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
Beach Boulevard.
Beach City Deli or whatever.
Yeah, Beach City Deli.
It was
Garfield.
in Costa Mesa. I
Oh,
went
they
to.
got one over there on the corner, yeah. 17th and
Yeah.
Irvine Boulevard.
I had no clue how good their
Next
sandwiches
to
were.
Acai Bowl.
Their sandwiches are amazing.
Oh, they're killer.
The problem was for a sandwich and a bag of chips was $22. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Welcome to Newport Beach.
Yeah, I mean, they give you like 2 avocados inside your sandwich.
That's
and
worth it.
I never had cream cheese in a sandwich. That was kind of odd, like for me. But
Okay, I got to tell you, you go to Brian Mendez's place, San Pedro Fight Club, Six Blades Jiu Jitsu, down the street, right on Pacific Boulevard there, Pacific Avenue. Whiskey Flats. Incredible. Because we've had multiple trips to Texas now, and we have eaten at multiple Texas barbecues. And we're eclectic about it. We're not just eating some random place on a boulevard. We pick them out systematically according to what either people have told us, reviews have told us, so on and so forth,
And
or
YouTube and stuff.
or if they're really, really renowned and been there for 100 years or longer. You know what I mean? Places that have been established, not just it's down the street and it's convenient. So we've eaten, and we stopped at a place in Sonora, which is the very first restaurant, oldest steakhouse in Sonora, I think, and got a chicken fried steak. So we've been doing barbecue. So Whiskey Flats, down the street from Brian Mendez. What do we get? We got brisket. We got pulled pork. What else did we get? Ribs.
ribs.
Oh my God. And it's
Spot down the street,
Try
Brandon,
their
is
whiskey.
bomb.
Texas style barbecue. Knock your socks off. And we loved it. We had the whole afternoon there just
I ate
chilling.
like 30% of it.
I ate
'cause there's just so
100% of it, and he couldn't finish it.
Too much.
No, was this in Texas or?
No, it's here, San Pedro.
San
San
Pedro. Oh,
Pedro.
San Pedro.
Down the
Okay.
street.
Yeah,
Brian
it was-
Mendez's place. Pacific Avenue.
Good.
Whiskey Flats.
Oh, what about the meat? The meat dude.
Calaveras, bro.
Yeah.
Calaveras right there in San Pedro is freaking bomb.
I
Mexican.
never heard of it.
Really good.
Let me tell you something, though. Carlo Esparza. Who else was there? Was it Gianni?
Brian-
Gianni was there.
Brian Ortega.
Brian Ortega's been there.
That's his spot. Like he's there all the time.
La Perla. I had no idea there was a
La Perla meat
carniceria
market.
that was dedicated to MMA and jiu-jitsu, and your homeboy Miguel works there and slices the meats. Okay, I told you about Fatima's. They're doing the hot Cheetos. They're doing everything mixed up. Robert takes me to La Perla. I'm from this area. I like to think I've eaten my way through the entire area and not missed a beat. He blew my... I couldn't believe it. It blew me away.
Oh.
The stuff that was available to eat there. Number one, prime cut meats. You don't get out. And they came here and cooked. They came here and cooked for Francesca.
yeah.
Oh, I can't remember that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so there's the cuts, the carne asada, the marinades, the pastor, everything that they do. And then the things they offer you each day is a special. I've never seen a carniceria like this. It
Yeah,
really was.
It's a fusion, yeah, almost.
It's
right?
it's pretty close to a fusion style carniceria that does top cut.
yeah.
meats
It's like they took a traditional carniceria,
to the next level.
and then the owner was like, "I like the other meats too," so they
Yeah.
picanha, tomahawks.
God,
Oh, man.
they will sell you a tomahawk right there in a carniceria, and we've been eating tomahawk. No, we've been eating tomahawk right here at the Argentinian place
The
on
Gaucho Grill.
El Gaucho Grill. So we're not unfamiliar with the cut, and then we saw the cut there, and it was actually a better cut.
and it was cheaper. Way
Oh, really?
cheaper.
By far cheaper. We spent $100 the other day on one cut. We got flies in here. What's going on?
Yeah,
Something attacked me.
yeah. That place is pretty amazing.
Something was tickling me.
But yeah, I mean that guy's Miguel's cool, man. Like
Meat sweats.
and the thing
Miguel,
that
we're gonna get him on this show because he's an MMA guy and he has developed a carniceria that has brought UFC fighters, Bellator fighters, jiu-jitsu practitioners of every level. Look at their Instagram, La Perla, San
yeah.
Pedro.
And the cool part was they're also famous for their what's that pastry? The Mexican breakfast. I mean,
Oh, Robert's favorite thing is pan dulce, concha.
but what they do
He
is
doesn't know it has two meanings.
they
He eats
take
concha,
it and they
but he doesn't eat concha.
and then
I love eating concha.
There's not enough calories for him.
So they put in Nutella, jellies, and different
Oh,
things.
they load their
they,
concha.
They load the. He was telling me that people were upset that he did that.
Yes.
They said that that's a
Because you ruined a
tradition.
classic, yeah.
But
What?
fucking once you eat
Again,
a
fusion.
Nutella filled one of those things, I don't know what it's called, but it's out of this
Basically,
world.
he took a concha and made it into malasada.
Did you-
It's
did
a
you-
Mexican malasada.
Did you go tongue first or just a bite?
No, he took the whole thing down. What is Robert? He's like a polar bear.
This stuff.
He did it like the panda bear would. He took the whole bamboo down.
What, a concha?
Yeah.
You gotta show him an image of a concha.
You know what we should do?
No, it's not.
I think we should.
The last
ask
concha
our
he
homies
approached was
to,
underage.
to be on.
Oh, in Texas.
We should. You know what we should do? Let's ask Carla if she would want to
The last one,
also be on the panel for Jim Crash's Pro and see if she wants to commentate with you. So we have
I would
Heather,
l-
you, and Carla
I would love that, but she's very busy because her fight's the 22nd.
of May or April.
May?
Oh, screwed. Then never
But
mind.
we wish her all the best. Gianni Vasquez is fighting. All the best.
He's fighting next week, yep.
Yep, the homies are fighting. Sean's on his way to Mexico. They may not let him back. Right?
He might not want to come
It'll be
back.
called- it's going to be called New Life CBD, right? Below the border CBD.
What's up, Vito? How you doing,
We're
champ?
going to bring on Adam Araby. I almost called him Woods, but he's the other guy. This is Wadham.
Fighter team inside the gym.
Let's do it. Yeah, Subfighter. Bring him on.
Got to. I'm trying to get some.
Oh man, got Adam in the house. What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. How have you been, Joey? It's been a while.
You know, it's been good, brother. It's been good. You know, I've been just doing my thing, and you heard earlier. I've been doing right in my life. You know, doing right.
I know.
Clothes are fitting me a little looser now. You know, I bought some new shirts, but I went to the Goodwill. Honestly, if you want to buy some cool shit, there's a Goodwill off of Beach Boulevard, right next to this place, this donut shop. What's that? No, honestly, there's a Goodwill.
Low-key, though, you can find some
Down Beach
some
Boulevard,
surprises in a Goodwill.
and there's like a donut shop right next door. But that Goodwill, oh my God, they have some bomb ass shirts for like $4, and some are brand new. Unfortunately, some have tags in them because you don't know if the person died recently. They said, "Oh, we got all these shirts, got to give them away."
That's true.
Listeners have jobs. They can go to the mall.
No, but honestly, you don't have to go to the mall. Honestly, you can find some good shit at the Goodwill, and I found some nice shirts, button shirts. I'll probably
Some of our
sport one.
listeners are like me, and they were making $200 a check before they got into better jobs.
Well, I'll probably be sporting that shirt probably in the maybe 2-3 weeks from now because it's buttoned up. But the problem is when I sit down, it's gonna go boop. So, dude, I found some good shit at Goodwill. So,
Can you do a button down instead of button up?
Better, like, how have you been feeling? Like, how much better is it? Like, feeling better now?
you know, energy's crazy, man. Like I go for walks. Like even at work, I walk at least probably 2 times a day for a good. I think it's like 1.5 miles. And
That's awesome.
And I do two times a day. And when I'm at home on the weekends, I walk all over where I live. And even when I get home, I have like these little 10-pound weights, and I do 21s. That means 21s is you start going. You know, if you ever heard 21s,
Yeah.
you just boom, 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 all the way down. So I've been doing with 10 pounds, even though it may not feel like nothing. But dude, I feel a little tight already, you know. But I can't do anything until like I think 2.5 more weeks till I can actually use 25 pounds and over. Because that's what the doctor said, because he's afraid of anything rupturing inside. So I really can't push, pull, or do anything crazy until like 2.5 weeks.
All right.
But energy level's great, man. You know, I'm enjoying life. You know, my lady, dude, she's been taking care of me. She's been awesome. Making sure, I mean, I take pills every day, of course. I take every vitamin you can think of every morning. And she's been keeping track of that. So I give all the props to her to keep me going too. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right, now let's take that good energy and break down these great fights. If you want to bring them up for me, Robert. I do warn our viewers, it just came out literally as of today, pretty much almost right before I was leaving to come here. In our main event of Darren Till versus Marvin Vettori, unfortunately, Darren Till is out with a broken collarbone, just as it just broke recently.
Wow.
Darren Till, one of the toughest fighters in the UFC, he's gotten such a myriad of injuries. If you know that guy, he's being held up by just so many nuts and bolts. It's incredible for what he's accomplished, for how tough that dude is, you know. And but unfortunately, broken collarbone and had to pull out of this fight. It is on rumor, and there was some chirping on Twitter between him and Kevin Holland, where basically Marvin Vettori was calling out Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland responded with, "I just accepted this fight an hour ago." You know, .. hashtag call Big Mouth. So, you know, it's not confirmed yet, but for our main event, I'm going to break down Marvin Vettori versus Mr. Big Mouth, Kevin Holland. But to start off this night of great fights, we have Mike Perry versus a local legend, a guy that, you know, we've seen at a few Spar Star events, Daniel Rodriguez. This is an exciting fight. This is honestly potentially my fight of the night. I'm between going this and the Arnold Allen Sadiq Youssef fight, but this is an incredible fight between Mike Perry, who we know, complete savage, you know, UFC mainstay, one of the most entertaining fighters and one of the most, you know, just athletic fighters. You know, a guy who's really athletic talents has taken him far, especially in his fighting career. Although we have seen lately with Mike Perry and just his mindset, although for his physical talents, that mental side he really hasn't been able to get right. he's been going through a lot, and has been handling a lot. Has had a kid recently, and has been a little bit inconsistent. Has lost, I believe, 3 of his last 4. His last win came over Mickey Gall. Although that Tim Dirty Bird Means fight was really close, and there was honestly moments where he could have won it, you could see he just, for some reason, just couldn't put it together recently. Versus Daniel Rodriguez, who just looked like an absolute beast since he's gotten into the UFC. A guy who's been known to hit hard. A dude who just, who's, like he says, one fool that works hard. That's what he's known for. And on top of it, too, I think we recently just saw Daniel Rodriguez competing in the High Rollers event, Eddie Bravo's event, I believe, in Las Vegas, where I believe he won, actually. And so, along with his great striking skills coming out of the yard, Muay Thai under Joe Schilling, he has great grappling, and he's been consistent and really just looked like a different beast, since he's gotten in the UFC.
Yeah.
So on this one, I'm going with Daniel Rodriguez, who's coming in at the minus 180 favorite, just by the fact that, local legend, and how can you pick a guy who's keeping consistent? Mm-hmm. Who you got, Joey?
I got Daniel Rodriguez. 'Cause he's a beast, bro. He's going to destroy it.
All right.
He's going to destroy the whole situation.
Let's go moving on to Nina Ansaroff versus Mackenzie Dern. Even betting line fight at minus 110 for this one. Mackenzie Dern has looked great each and every single fight. She's really improved, especially recently in her striking and in her fights, especially since now that she's been training with Jason Perillo at the Ruvka gym. And really, you could see her sparring, doing a lot more Muay Thai and just boxing rounds and really sharpening up those hands. Already, she was a jiu-jitsu world champion coming from a great lineage. And by the fact that, being a Brazilian descent, jiu-jitsu's in her blood. It literally is.
They're born.
She was born out, coming in a guillotines, and so, but you could really see, especially in these last recent fights, she's really put it together, really finding her combos, really finding which shots work best for her. Nina Ansaroff has been out, having a child, and her, with her, the champion of the division, I believe, Amanda Nunes. But before that, I believe she was on a 6-fight win streak before she took that loss against Tatiana Suarez, who, again, was on a roll. And, not a bad loss to drop to against, the next title challenger. So, it's still on a pretty good win streak on that and looking to bounce back. Although it's been about, obviously 2 years to have that child, and then on top of it, too, bounce back from that loss. I still think, she still has a lot of fight left in her. I still think she still looks good. Although I'm taking Mackenzie Dern on this one just by the fact that she's been a lot more active, and that the fact that, too, she's just really coming into her own with her striking. So I'm going to go with consistency and momentum on this one, Joey. Who are you picking?
Same with you, brother. Mackenzie all day.
All right. Moving on. We got Sam Alvey versus Julian the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez. Sam Alvey coming in at a plus 145 underdog. And then Julian the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez coming in at a minus 175 favorite. I really like Julian Marquez for this fight. I think this is a perfect fight for him. He's an up-and-comer. He's got a good, diverse skill set, good grappling skills, a few submissions, a good, I believe, 8 or 9, first to late round, TKO, KO finishes. Had that incredible, KO head kick on the Contender Series, and just, has kept up with some great competition recently. And then Sam Alvey, on top of it, too, has been on a 4-fight losing streak. And I don't think he's won a fight since, I want to say 2018.
Wow.
And so it's been years since he's won a fight. And I really think, to be honest, Sam Alvey's best days might be behind him. We haven't seen the best, at least at the UFC level, we haven't seen the best of Sam Alvey in a long time. So I'm going to take the up-and-comer, the guy who's had a lot more momentum, the guy who's looked really good, who's looking for that next win, Julian the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez.
Yeah, I'm going the same way, too. Missile Crisis is going to destroy it, bomb the whole situation up. He's going to destroy that cat.
All right.
Sam Alvey, because I love smiling Sam.
We got Kyle Dawkins coming in at a plus 110 underdog versus, I'm going to give it my best, y'all, Ali Shikabab Kirzarev. I'm going to just say Ali for now. That's a tough Russian name. We got another Russian fighter coming in at this hot Russian MMA fighter streak, this new age. a lot of first round finishes for my guy Ali. You know, good wrestling, decent striking skills, great KO power. Kyle Dawkins, a good, well-rounded fighter with great grappling skills. I believe he has 8 submission wins in his professional career,
Okay.
with the rest of his wins coming by submission, and he only has 1 loss, which lost by decision, and I believe that came in early in his career. So this is a winnable fight for him. But you know, looking at Ali, just that typical Russian fighters trend we've seen, and like I said, looking at just how many first round finishes he had. One of them, he has a first round 30-second finish with punches to the body.
Oh,
that
jeez.
says something. Like when you finish your opponent within the first minute with body shots, you got some KO power, especially in 4-ounce gloves. So I'm going with KO power on this one, the favorite of -130, with Ali making his MMA debut and keeping up with that Russian MMA fighter trend.
Yeah, let's. I agree with you, man. Ali, man, all the way. Especially if you're saying that he could take a guy out with some body punches and not just finish him. Let's go for that guy.
All right, moving on. My potential fight of the night: Super Sadiq Youssef versus Arnold Allen. Sadiq Youssef coming in at a -140 favorite. Arnold Allen coming at a +115 underdog. Sadiq Youssef has really great KO power and is really accurate. You know, also for that 145 division, you know, another great African UFC fighter. Just a big build, you know, very explosive, very muscular, very strong. You know, and coming out of a really great camp where we've seen actually a lot of UFC, a lot of just kind of hidden talent with a few other fighters out of his camp with that Lloyd Irvin camp, I believe is the name of it. And on top of it too, with these great striking power, with the great KO power that he has and the accuracy he has good grappling skills. He was able to keep up grappling with Andre Fili, who's no slouch coming out of Team Alpha Male.
Yeah.
And on top of it too, he had a really competitive fight with him and able to, you know, win out with that decision. And so I really like Sadiq Youssef with, you know, on top of it too, with just the momentum that he's had and just the KO power and just, you know, the skill set that he has being the more explosive athlete. Arnold Allen is a good, well-rounded fighter with a lot of decision wins. The majority, I believe, of his wins do come by decisions. So he has proven cardio, and we can know he could potentially gas out Youssef. But I really do see Sadiq Youssef able to pull out just that one-stop shop and use that great KO power.
Well, I totally agree with you. I'm totally going for Sadiq.
Super Sadiq Youssef.
Yes, sir.
Moving on. All right. Not confirmed, like I said, but, you know, one of them did say I just get the call, and I did accept the fight. So I'm going to break it down as if it is confirmed. Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. Like we just saw, you know, with Kevin Holland in this past fight with Derek Brunson, his greatest weakness, wrestling. You know, he's not a big guy. He's not a big 185er. He's really a 170, to be honest. He's just a guy with the crappy diet who didn't cut weight right for a long time. Considering he was saying on the Joe Rogan podcast, I eat too much peanut butter. It was messing up my diet. In reality, it was peanut butter Pop-Tarts.
There you go.
And so now Kevin Holland's diet's gotten a lot better, especially for his past fight camp. But with this fight, I don't see him winning this fight against Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori is just too well-rounded of an MMA fighter. He has amazing wrestling, built like a brick shithouse, you know, super strong, comes out of a great camp in King's MMA, and on top of it too, has been in fight camp. It's not coming off of another main event that was just 2 weeks ago. And so on this fight, I really like just by the fact that styles make fights, and like we just saw of a guy who just lost to the same style and a guy who's then going to fight now a younger guy who's faster, stronger, and more hungry with a much more intense just mindset. I'm going with Marvin Vettori on this one.
Marvin all day.
I'll pray
You
for
guys?
Kevin just because he's, you know, from SoCal. We know the dude, so
Of course.
let's hope for the best.
Call Big Mouth whenever you need somebody. What are you thinking, Robert?
I'm going to be honest. After coming off that loss, what do you think he's done in that time? I don't think he went back to the gym right away. It's going to be a hard one, and it's another 5-round fight. So
Looking at his social media, he just got back in the gym. I want to say just this week.
yeah, so,
This week or
he
this
said
past
that
weekend.
Everybody needs to take a little break. Yeah.
5 rounds. Yeah, 5-round fight, man. Get your toughest fight of your
I don't know,
career.
like, how far away and off you're from peak, but if you take a break and you just
Also, Kevin Holland's just athletically built different. Like that dude's a different athlete.
But if
You
you're
know.
gonna give anybody a shot, He's got some power. So
Hey, call Big Mouth.
I think Kevin just blows his load in the first 2 rounds, and if he
Yeah.
doesn't win, then he doesn't win.
It's if he doesn't get that knockout within the first 3 rounds, he doesn't get the win.
I say he's gonna go. If I was him, I'd spend it all in the first and second, and not worry about the third, fourth, fifth, because you ain't gonna win those anyways.
Yeah, I like that strategy, Robert.
Blow him out. Blow it all out. Get it going.
All right.
So, this has been another great Jim Crasher show, reuniting the family again. Dondo, where can they find you in your social medias? Social media.
Sure, look me up.
You can always find me in adam.araby, on the Instagram.
And once again, we'd like to thank our beautiful sponsor out there, Our Life CBD, in the house. Beautiful sponsor out there, Our Life CBD. Check him out, ourlifecbd.com.
Best
Check out all of
idea.
his merchandise. Check out all the CBD brands he has. It's amazing stuff. Like I tell you, folks, if you have sciatic nerve happening, use that cream he has. If you have psoriasis, citrus CBD, the drops, they're amazing. They work. Hit him up, ourlifecbd.com. And once again, I am Joey the Bull Hinojosa. You can hit me up on all my social media from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever's out there. Hit me up. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out. Boom.
Nice.